All right, we're heading out this morning. It's a good old Friday morning. Going to the site where it's been dropping out. Had two sites doing that. This is the one that's been doing it for a while, and it just seems like that it will not reveal itself of what it is. We can unplug everything, plug it back in, it'll work 2-3 weeks, no problem. Then it'll start again. The other site that we had issue with, it was nothing but the Edge Router X. We replaced it and it's been working ever since. This is the site where we replaced the wire that we put in the ground, about 115 feet. We replaced it. It's still dropping out. Now, the wire that we replaced in the ground was bad because we basically tripled our speed in the park itself. If you watched some of my other videos where I said we had only like 95 megabits per second download is all we can get, and we had like 300 on our backhaul. After we replaced the wire, we've been getting 250 and more. So that was part of the issue that we had. Now we got to figure out why and what is causing it to still drop out during the day. These people need to learn, don't matter how close you get to my bumper, I'm not going to speed up. If you sit there long enough, I'm going to actually slow up. I mean, I'm in a 55 zone, I'm doing 63, and I'm in the right lane. If you want to go any faster, get in the other one. That's just the way it goes. Not going any faster. But that's what we're going to do, is go over there and change the wires next in line. We have a nano switch in play. So we're going to take the PoE that we have that feeds it, the wire that goes under the ground fed straight to the PoE. We're going to take the wire from the PoE that feeds the nano switch. We're going to replace it. We're going to replace the wire from the nano switch to the power beam. I think it's the power beam, it's the 5 gigahertz. It's not the M5, it's the other Gen 2, I do believe it's called. We're going to replace the wire from the nano switch to it and see if that actually resolves the issue. Now, we do have another AP attached to it that feeds the other part, but that's like 112 feet. And 12 feet of that is in the ground, and the rest of it is running on the bottom board of a fence all the way to the corner where the AP is. So we're going to try these two wires, because I do believe these wires are from the roll where I had that issue of bad spots in it, and it's just finally revealing itself. Hopefully that's all it is, but we're going to replace these two and see if that solves the issue. If not, then we'll replace the 110 112 foot and see if that resolves the issue. If not, then that's all the wires. Then we have to start looking at the components itself and see if we can figure out which one is actually making it drop out. But that's where I'm going this morning. Change them 2 wires. I got a 16 port unmanaged switch coming in today. At least it says it's supposed to, but it did say it's supposed to be here Wednesday, then it says it's late. And it didn't move all day Thursday. The last, let's see, when it's supposed to have been here on Wednesday, the last movement that shows on the tracking was from Saturday. And then Wednesday night it showed it moved. So hopefully it'll move and get here today. Then I can start putting things together to get internet to the new section of the park that's in Lake Waccamaw. He added 16 more sites. Well, he added, I think, like 19 or 20, but he says 3, 4 of them is going to be like temporary. People want to come in like a campground for, you know, maybe a week or less. The other ones are pretty much going to be long term. So I got to wire them up, and I'm going to try it at a different way and see if it'll work. Put up one CPE and be able to feed them all, and see if we can get that to be accomplished or not. On paper it says it will work, but we're going to find out. But that's what I got today, is change these 2 wires and see if it will not drop out today, because for some reason it starts dropping out like 8 in the morning, somewhere between 8 and 11 in the morning it starts dropping out, and it does it during the day, and it will quit roughly 8, 9 at night. The only thing I can think of is something's getting hot, and it might be the wire, it might be the ends I put on it with the old crimper that I had issue with not crimping the wire all the way, and it's losing connection during the day. When it gets hot, the metal moves or whatever, I don't know. It's to the point where putting a computer on it, there's no way to tell what the issue is, and there's no consistency of what time of day, of like it's at 10 o'clock every day or 10:30, exactly 10:30 every day. It's different times. So we're just gonna, since I have the time and I have the equipment and, you know, and the wire and everything else to be able to do it, I'm just gonna go through it just the same way as the internet comes from our backhaul modem, goes through our router. I've replaced the wire from it out to the building where the APs are. Then I'm just going to go to the next thing. It's going to be the wires. The next wire in place, that's the one I'm going to replace. Hopefully it's not the PoE. I've had PoEs that even though it's still giving out voltage, it just was not letting the traffic go through. I don't know what it is. It can be, you know, each component that's in there now that has not been changed can cause this issue. So I'm just going to go in the same path as the internet passed through and replace components and see which one gets replaced that fixes the issue. Because when it's working great. I mean, I don't know. But that's what I got today, and we're gonna go see if we can get lucky, and hopefully it's the wire, since I do have history of that wire possibly being the issue, and that crimper, the ends on it. That's why I want to tackle the wires first, because I've had things in the past off of that roll doing the same thing, and I replaced the wire and it resolved the issue. So let's go see if get lucky again and get this to do the same thing. All right, this is what we have up here. this feed here. This feed here is the one that goes under the ground. It comes up here, and this is the nano switch that we have. As soon as I opened this, and no issues, and I was watching the network on my app, but when I opened up this, I noticed the one that feeds this radio stopped transmitting, even though it was lit up, but no traffic. And as soon as I started messing with this wire here, unplugged it and plugged it back in and all, the other radio that's on that fence over there goes that way, it went out as well. So I'm thinking it's going to be these wires, maybe the ends here. I've had issues with these color ones that I got. So I'm just going to replace the wires. I'm going to replace the feed to the nano switch here that goes in here and comes off of the PoE. I'm making it up now. Replace it, and then I'm going to replace the one that goes to that radio and see if one of them was the issue. Was it the main feed, or can it be the nano switch actually malfunctioning? We're going to find out. But that's what we're going to do today, is replace the wire from the PoE to the nano switch, and from the nano switch to this radio, the AP, and see if it was either one of them. And then we'll replace the wire that goes from the nano switch and all the way down that fence 100 some feet, and see if that solves it. If not, then we're going to look at the nano switch, even if I have to put some temporary, a box up here temporary, and just put PoE on each one of both of these, and just see if that solves the problem. Take this out of the equation, because I don't think I got one in stock. It's not very often that I use one of these, so I'll probably just put another box up here, temporarily strap it and let it hang, and put 2 PoEs in it and feed these 2 radios to APs and see if it stops the issue. If it does, then I know it's the nano switch. Order one, replace it, and move on. But that's what we're doing today before it gets too hot, and it's already getting there. I have only replaced so far the feed from the PoE to the nano switch, and both sites have come back online almost instantly. I would say probably in 15-20 seconds both of them lit up. So I'm thinking it is the issues with the wires, because I sat here making that wire up here after I started messing with the plugs here. And that side of the way over there, Collins actually came back online, but the one I'm in right behind me did not come back on until I replaced this feed wire. So I'm thinking it is going to be the wires that's the issue. At least I'm hoping. At least as soon as I plugged it in, it actually started all working. But let's go ahead and replace the one with this to this PoE. I mean the AP here, power beam. Replace it and see if that was the only ones, if they were shorting out or something. Maybe it was the main feed that was making it drop out. It might be shorted or whatever, I don't know. But it's still, that would make it drop out. But what would make the Edge Router X go out as well by having a bad wire? Was it shorted and it just shortened it out and everything, since this is tied directly through the PoE back to the router, the Router X? That couldn't have been it. But we're going to replace these two, and hopefully the problem was in one of them wires. And I'm going to test them after I get them replaced and see if it shows up anything on the tester. It hasn't so far because I've tested them, but we will see. All right, just to recap what we did is we replaced the feed line
from the PoE to the nano switch. We replaced the wire from the nano switch to this AP, and the wire that feeds the other RV park here, we cut at least 1.5 foot off of it and put a new end on it, just because it was there, just to see if it's the ends or not. Maybe I get lucky and don't have to replace that wire. Maybe I go on the other end and replace the end on that one as well, on the other end of it. But we'll see. But that's what I did, and hopefully one of them wires or the end is going to be the issue. Everything lit up as soon as I plugged it back in, but time will tell. Alright, we got them 2 wires replaced. I'll come back later and put some zip ties as soon as I confirm that that's it. Which I don't think it was, because since I put them 2 wires replacements in there, it still has dropped out once. But the wire that goes over and down here, which looks like they hit it because it's been taken off of the zip tie there. So they might have hit it and damaged it somewhere in there. And when I started looking at it, that's when it dropped out. So I went up there and unplugged it for 10 minutes, and the other ones all stayed up and running. And I just plugged in that one, and I'm going to monitor it and see if it starts dropping out after I put that one back in. So it might be just damaged right here. So I'll measure how many feet it is from here to the end of that fence that's way down there. That fence, yeah, that fence all the way to the end down there comes to here. So measure that and see how far that was. I want to say it's like 115 feet. Then I have to figure that. So if I can get a 150, that'd be more than enough. I'd rather have too much and have it up here. But I'm gonna measure that and see if that's the issue. Monitor it for the rest of the day in air condition, and see if it keeps dropping out, because it didn't drop out when this one was actually unplugged, but when I messed with it, it actually dropped out. I'm going to test it again. I'm going to start messing with this and look at it and see if it'll drop out as soon as I start messing with it. It might be right here, but I don't want to put, you know, splices. Just no, it's just not a good idea. So I'm just going to replace the whole thing. So as soon as I figure it out, if that's what it is, I'll let you know. Thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up, share it, subscribe to the channel. It helps it out and make it grow. Don't cost you a thing. And I'll see you in the next video.